Hi, Dan. So, first of all, I'd like to say that that was a very good video. I liked where you were going with that. I liked your thought process. However, I can't say that I can agree with it totally, and here's why. You talked about how the institutional form of education is no longer really working because information is so free. While I would agree with that, I would say that the institutional method of education is still very effective. In fact, perhaps more effective than you give it credit for. Because, well, let's look at it this way. Let's take an example. Wikipedia. Wikipedia, huge database of information available to everyone at the click of a mouse. You can learn about everything from World War II to Star Trek, and it's all at your own. It's all in your own time. You can find it anytime you want. You get it. It's very accessible. You know this. Um, but what the problem with the fact that information is so free is that it's not organized. Um, it's just kind of there. And I mean, you said that you dropped out of school because it was interfering with your education, and I understand where you're coming from with that. I too have had lots of classes that are just kind of you sit there and the teacher regurgitates the book at you, and a lot of times it's not even that. Um, and obviously those classes are bad, and it's just you're not getting anything out of it. But uh, while you may be able to find information on the same topics more readily and in a better, more understandable format online, it's not really. I mean, the information age has not yet evolved to the point where we can educate large numbers of people. Um, you you couldn't have an online universe or online university. Um, the you I mean, most of this education is how do I put this? It's it's limited by a person's own motivation. If the person does not wish to find this, then they're not going to. Um, I feel like I'm struggling to get across my point here, but with that being said, let's move on to the second half of this argument. The fact that while the educational side of these institutions is one thing, but let us not forget that speaking from the perspective of the fact that we live in America, um, and America is a capitalist country, these educational institutions, these universities, they're businesses. And if there's one thing we love in America, it's a good business. Um, these I feel like in the same way that people sometimes discuss the ingrained nature of fossil fuels and their associated businesses in our society with the retardation of alternative forms of power and transportation like electricity or hydrogen. Um, the 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 fact that universities and colleges and that system of education has been around so long could make the idea of a free, um, maybe web-based learning sort of structure um, non-viable, at least right now. Um, pretty. It works or doesn't work, as the case may be. Um, I mean, you see where I'm coming from, and I agree with you that much needs to be done to get away from the standard. Oh, it's a PowerPoint. I'm going to take notes, and I'm going to listen to this teacher talk at me for an hour. Yeah, that's bad. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't learn well from that model, myself included. Sounds like you don't either. Um, I myself benefit very much from a small class environment where you do a lot of interacting with the teacher. Um, and for me, it's not all about just regurgitating facts. It's about learning at the feet of the master, so to speak. Learning from someone who knows the field that you want to be a part of, and they espouse what it is to be in that field to you. Um, so yeah, I hopefully this little rambling video has gotten a point across. But yeah, I mean, okay. So bottom line is, I agree with you on certain things. The university system needs to change. The educational system in America is broken. Um, but I don't know if the internet is yet ready to handle that kind of pressure. I feel like there need to be other paradigm shifts. Like there need to be social shifts. Differences in thinking need to happen before the kind of changes you're talking about will.